Here's Rob Tussin. He was very impressive in the warm-ups. And
Oh, God, he's still going. Oh, how can he...
Obstacle courses. One of the most diabolical things man has ever created. I know everyone at least seen one in real life, in media, or if you're some sick human who takes pleasure of humiliation, has been in one. It's been a generational staple of proving you can get through point A to point B while jumping over some logs, bouncing on balls, or scaling up iron beams while giant gorillas throwing barrels at you after kidnapping your dang girlfriend. That's Donkey Kong. I still have nightmares, but with a lot of game shows nowadays having people compete and fail, they must a bunch of fails and tapes, and that's what three geniuses will bank off. They will create a blooper show showcasing a Japanese game show from the 80s with dubbing so bad it will make ghost stories blush. And the show I'm talking about is called MXC. What's up, people of YouTube? It's your boy G, back with a new video, and if you're a fan of game shows, I got the video for you. So sit back, grab your kimonos, it's time to laugh at Japanese people. MXC, what is it? Well, it stands for Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. Don't think about it too much. And for majority of the video, I'll be calling it MXC, but this is an American comedy show that was created by Paul, Peter, and Larry. It was aired on Spike TV on April 2003 to 2007, airing 5 seasons with 81 episodes. But what makes MXC so different from the other game shows? That was the fact that it came across more of a blooper show than anything else, with only it highlighting the best moments and funniest eliminations. Just some real good shit. This show honestly reminds me of a mix of American home videos mixed with Ninja Warrior, and with the writing, that's what MXC thrives on, and the dubbing itself, having the host and the people competing saying some outlandish stuff. And quick side note, we really need to start studying this type of dubbing. It's super underrated. From Ghost Stories to Uncle Morty's Dub Shack, we really need more of this. Oh hell, I need more of this.
Oh, I'm ready.
We are gang banging guys.
Yo, what?
MXC will be having a whole cast of characters, even having Mrs. Benson from iCarly on the crew, which was a super surprise for me when I was writing this video. And like I said before, the writing of the show was hilarious. It felt like some of the things they said was just mostly on the spot. So this is how the show ran. We was introduced to the hosts, Vic and Kenny, something of a buddy comedy team that reminded me more of the Tallest from Invader Zim, with them having a bunch of lore between both of them, with Vic being the level-headed host who was a former baseball player but got addicted to everything and anything, and who has a dark past that consists of alcohol abuse, failed marriages, and addiction problems, who takes MXC super seriously and is fond of his 1974 AMC Matador coupe. He's just like me, for real. Vic was played by the director of the show, Takeshi Castle, and we have his co-host Kenny, who is the slacker of the two, being a high school dropout and who only got the job at MXC because his uncle owns the network, and consistently brags on how he makes more money than Vic and being a nepo baby, and who most of the time flirts with the women contestants. Kenny is played by a Japanese political comedian, Hideo, not saying that last name. Also with them is the field reporter guy, Captain Tennille. Where do you search to get that rank? No one knows. In the show, they will have 2 teams of a bunch of people. Looking at the teams, it looked like anyone and everyone could have joined. They will compete in several turn-based head-to-head challenges, from roughly easy to extremely hard. And with these teams being the same in every episode for like the first 2 seasons, it was donors versus addicts, and then later on being Democrats versus Republicans. Oh boy. But it was all for the show, so don't overthink about the teams or the jokes. Like I said about the challenges, they were probably the most unique thing within the show. Like the falling boulder challenge, we had to run up a hill avoiding these comically large boulders, and sometimes it seems like even if you avoid them, you can still get eliminated because a boulder touched you. Within MXC, Kenny and Vic don't really explain the rules here, but that is the last challenge. Some of the first one seems really easy. It's always funny to see people fail them. Like, I feel like I could breeze through some of these. Like for example, the first course is where you had to run across the river by running on top of these stones in the river, and that's it. The stones aren't bouncing, they don't move, they're just there. And this is what eliminates the most people, and I just get stuck asking why. What can I sum it up to is that the stones are pretty wet and the people that are running towards them don't have control of the surface, but that's not the only challenges they have to do. They have tons of fun looking challenges. I can make a whole video about it just talking about the challenges alone. This show is so comedic, really not taking itself seriously. Feel like an old school parody you see at Newgrounds or early YouTube, but a show from the early 2000s, why does it look like it was filmed a few decades before that? Well, that's because it was. Yes, MXC MXC is not the original. It takes clips from an actual game show in Japan called Takeshi's Castle, a game show that aired in 1986. This was a surprise to me when I was writing this video, but what was Takeshi's Castle and how different was it compared to MXC? Well, I'll talk more about that after this.
How many of you think execution should be shown on national television as a deterrent for crime, especially for the kids? Yes!
So if MXC is just the offensive dub version of the actual game show, what was Takeshi's Castle? Better yet, who is Takeshi? And why does he have a castle? Well, it's a Japanese game show that aired between 1986 to 1990 on the Tokyo Broadcasting System, TBS, airing 133 episodes and becoming such a hit in pop culture, the whole world wanted more of Takeshi's Castle, even having board games and even a video game that's supposed to be the hardest game ever played. I remember watching JonTron play that game a few years back, and I don't blame them. Basically became the grandfather of all game shows, which I feel that other game shows never caught that lightning in the bottle like how Takeshi's Castle did, and will actually backfire on some of these shows. But what was the true difference between Takeshi's Castle and MXC? For one is the comedy, with Takeshi's Castle mostly having Japanese comedy and having an Australian narrator that actually makes fun of people, and as for MXC, sticking to the sex jokes and lowbrow stuff. Not saying that stuff is bad, just pointing out the differences. And also another difference is the story, with MXC having teams compete against each other. As for Takeshi's Castle, it's an army versus Takeshi. Yeah, all the players are trying to take down Takeshi like some warlord, with them even having a final battle like in Wano. Some of the final battles varies from the remaining players going up against Takeshi in a laser tank battle to climb up a castle like it's D-Day. And the winner, or sometimes winners, will win a cash prize. And apparently this show has some gaslighting with its history, saying that this game show is so hard that there's been more people in the moon than people winning Takeshi's Castle. But that's not true. It's kind of complicated, but throughout the show's run, there has been 36 winners and 186 spirit winners, which are players who showed that they have the most fighting spirit. So we're roughly around 140 winners in total if you count the spirit winners. Like I mentioned, Takeshi's Castle will also have an Australian narrator in the OG, and I'm conflicted on which version of the narrator is better. I'm gonna have to stick with the MXC. Also, MXC was nerfed for not having the low quality anime transitions like they had in Takeshi's Castle. With the difference between both shows, which one's the best version to watch? I don't know. Look, it's hard to pick between both of them. They're both super entertaining in many ways. I could say it for nostalgia, I'll go with MXC. Like, I remember always waking up early just to watch it before I had to head to school. But after watching some Takeshi Castle, I could see how we was kind of robbed from a lot with MXC. Only focusing on the fails and not doing the final battles kind of makes you have FOMO. But it wasn't all sunshine for Mr. Takeshi, because after the game show, TBS would try to sue other game shows like Wipeout for copyright infringement. The lawsuit was in 2008 and ABC and TBS was settled in court in 2011, never to hear about the copyright infringement again. But that was the last time we ever heard about Takeshi's Castle until 2023. Yes, after more than 30 years, the madman himself will return for more challenges, and with the help of Prime Video, Takeshi's Castle will make a grand return with a whole new bunch of stuff. This new show will even have new castles under Takeshi, and that means way more players to fail for my enjoyment. As of the time of this video, the new show only has 8 episodes with more on the way. Would you like me to review the new show? But with this new show, does that mean we'll see MXC come back? And honestly, no. You see, as much as I love MXC, it was and still a product of its time. But the West didn't have access to the East, and when we did, we could only do so much. And nowadays, you can get any type of media from anywhere these days. And for the writing of MXC, like I said, product of its time. If they did want to bring back MXC, I would be interested to see how they would do all that, if they still got it. But it seems they don't have to, since it's on Prime, so there's a chance they'll get a dub cast. But that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Did you ever watch MXC growing up? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. And if this video does good, I'll check out the new Takeshi's Castle for a future video. So
What are these people running from?
What, like drugs and booze?
Let's go!
And there she is it. Oh, indeed, I've fallen off many a bar stool.
till the next time, peace.
Hi everyone, I'm Hairball, the earless, one-eyed career cat. Study hard and stay in school, or you'll wind up like this big-eared, shiny-suited crackhead.
Oh, shut up and go fetch my pipe!
It's time for MXC, the world's toughest competition in town. It's a career day